Hello, welcome everyone, and welcome to a new video. This is your next door Agile coach, Zishan. In the last video, we spoke about what is Agile and how we would explain Agile to an ordinary person. Taking a step further, in this video, we will discuss further of what Agile is in software development, how software development teams can be agile, what they should do to be agile, what behavioral changes, what mindset transformation they need to bring about to be agile. So, before discussing further and understanding and going in depth of what agile is in software development, let's see why the necessity of agile came. So, as in the world grew more VUCA, right? More VUCA, that's more volatile and ambiguous, and uncertainty rose around us. The traditional software development projects started fading. Right from the starting of 1980s, the failure rate started to go up, right? And come 90s and come the dot-com revolution, the failure rate shot rapidly, right? It was going up and more increasing number of traditional software development projects were failing. And it was time that the industry stalwarts, the pioneers of software development, they thought it is time to meet and see what can they do to make sure to reduce the failure, right? To make sure that there is increasing number of software projects not failing but being a success. And that is how they met at a snow resort in Utah in 2001 and deliberated what they should do or what the software development team should do to reduce failures and increase success of software projects. And that is how the outcome of the deliberation, the outcome of the meet was something that the world knows today with the name of Agile Manifesto. So Agile Manifesto, it's like a Bible for agilists, right? It has 4 values and 12 principles which each software development individual or teams must embrace, must incorporate to bring that behavior transformation, that mindset change, and be more agile. Right, so let's look at what those 4 values are first. Okay, so Agile Manifesto says that prefer individuals and interactions over processes and tools, prefer working software over comprehensive documentation, prefer customer collaboration over contract negotiation, and prefer responding to change over following a plan. So what does this mean? The manifesto says, or from now on I will call Agile, right? Agile says that pay attention or emphasize on humans, emphasize on people, because it's the people who cause change, not the processes and tools. So given an opportunity, always pay more attention to the individuals and how they interact together to bring about a change, and not to the processes and tools and everything. Of course, processes and tools are important, but individuals and their interactions are more important than processes and tools. Similarly, it says that don't go into don't spiral into doing more and more documentation, right? It says that working software, pay emphasis or emphasize on creating working increments, in creating working piece of software, and that working piece of software would be your measure of progress, measure of success, and whatever. So just do not continue writing endless documentations, right? Documentations are important. It doesn't say that just don't do documentations. Documentations are important, but a working piece of software is more important. Documentation should be only sufficient and necessary, which complements the software and nothing more than that. The third value says collaborate with your customers. collaborate with your end users, and just don't depend on a contract to negotiate with your customer, right? The fourth value says that no matter at what phase of your software development juncture you are, whether it is in a sprint, whether it is before a release, whether it is one day prior to release, always embrace and respond to change. Don't go into that cycle of following a plan. So these are the four values. Now let's go ahead and discuss what are those 12 principles and how we can understand it better and be more agile. Okay, so let's start with principle number one. Our highest priority is to satisfy the customer early and by continuous delivery of working software, right? So the manifesto says that a software development team's highest priority is delivering those working piece of software to their customers, and delivering it on a continuous cycle, right? And frequently on a continuous cycle. Don't go into that again cycle of delivering working software in 6 months or once a year or maybe more than that. No. Try to deliver working software to your customers continuously on a frequent cycle, and the shorter the cycle is, the better it is. Number two, welcome changing requirements even late in development. So the Agile was brought in to harness change. Agile was brought in to embrace change. So if you have something in your process, if you have certain behavioral things that inhibit you or impede you to embrace change, that means that you have to remove that, because that prevents you from being agile. Because agile is about embracing change. No matter where you are in the software development cycle, whether it is in the starting phase, discovery phase, whether it is inside the sprints, whether it is just a day before making a release, it doesn't matter. No matter where you are, always embrace change, and embrace change for the benefit, for the competitiveness of your customers, right? Because that is essentially what agile is meant for. It is meant for harnessing change. The world is VUCA, it would never be stable. It is upon you how you harness that VUCA to a competitive advantage of your customers. Okay, so principle number three, deliver working software frequently, from a couple of weeks to a couple of months, and the shorter that cycle is, the better it is. And this is why we work in iterations. This is why we work in sprints, and we say that working increments, working piece of software that is important to be produced after each iterations, after each sprints, because it adds value to the customer. You can inspect the product and you can adapt it. So it is important that working software is delivered frequently, and the shorter the cycle is, the better it is. Principle number four, business people and developers must work frequently throughout the project. Yes, gone are the times when you depended upon the business analysts and the traditional product managers to gather all the requirements and pass on to you. You must work with all the end users, with all the customers. Now, there's a caveat, of course. Some organizations are very big, wherein you just cannot collaborate with all the end users because there are just too many, and collaborating with each of them would just mean bringing in more chaos. And this is where the idea of a product owner comes in. And it is said that a product owner is a representative. It's a sole representative of the wishes, of the ambitions, of the end users, of the customers, right? So product users represents the wishes of the customers, of the end users, and he works, or he is supposed to work with the dev team, with the development team collaboratively throughout the cycle of the project. Right. Principle number 5, projects are built around motivated people. Just give them the environment and support that they need and trust them to get the job done. So this principle is for all the leads and all the managers. It, it is a principle which talks about or emphasizes on the need of creating empowered and self-organizing teams. And I remember a saying of Apple CEO, uh, right? He told once, right? So Steve Jobs in one of the meetings, in one of the interviews, I don't remember, he told that we at Apple hire intelligent people not to tell them what to do. We hire intelligent people so that they can tell us what we need to do, right? And this is an excellent saying which lives to the idea of empowered teams, right? And which is why Agile refrains from using the term resource to describe people. It says knowledge workers because we are knowledgeable in our fields, and if we are knowledgeable, we are the best people to do something which is to be done in our fields, right? So the leaders, managers, they just need to keep us motivated, and they just need to give us a culture which supports mutual trust, right? And they just provide the support, trust, and a culture, and the knowledge workers, because they are skilled workers, they would get the job done. So trust your team to do this, to the work, to do or deliver the work. Principle number 6, the most efficient and effective method of conveying information still is face-to-face communication. Now, post-COVID, I know more and more organizations have gone hybrid. So if you're not able to do face-to-face communication, it is important that you use proper video communication tools so that the teams can see each other. Because it is said that humans speak more than their faces than they do with their mouths, and this is true. Okay, principle number 7, working software is the measure of progress. Right, so gone are the times wherein traditionally we had a project plan, a 6 months project plan, wherein first 2 months you were to do requirement analysis, the next 2 months you were to prepare BRDs, FS, and the next 2 months would be development, the next 2 months would be testing, and then a product would be released to production. No, gone are those times. Okay, so we have to work incrementally and iteratively to produce working software throughout the entire software development project lifecycle, right? So work in iterations, produce small vertical slices of working software, and that working software is a measure of progress or the measure of your success. So after 3 months, somebody says how much of the project is done, the amount of working software we have, that should be a measure of progress, and not the traditional that BRD is complete, FS is complete, and now just dev and testing needs to be done. No. Right, moving ahead. Number 8, Agile processes promote sustainable development. The sponsors, developers, and users should be able to maintain a constant pace indefinitely. I know most of you would have heard of Scrum and sprints, but don't go by the irony of the word sprint. Agile teams are meant to run at a pace that is sustainable for the long run. They are not meant to sprint, right? So this is an irony in the word sprint which Scrum uses, but it is what it is, right? So work at a pace that you can sustain for a long time, otherwise you'll be burnt out. You need to preserve energy. It's like a marathon and not a sprint. Okay, principle number 9, continuous attention to technical excellence and good design enhances agility. So this is extremely critical. Quality is something that is intrinsic to the product. It's a mindset. Now, if you allow tech debt to pile up. If you do small hacks or workarounds, the tech debt keeps on piling. If you don't pay attention to proper coding principles, proper architectural principles, and good practices, then the tech debt would just pile up, and at some point, it would be an impediment uh, towards your agility goals. It would impede you in your agility goals. You would not be able to do stuff which otherwise you would have done. It would impede your ability to bring value to your customers. So pay attention continually into sprint by sprint, iterations by iterations, through to technical best practices, to technical excellence, to quality. Principle number 10, simplicity. It is the art of maximizing the amount of work that is not done. This is, so pay attention what it's saying. It's saying the art of maximizing the work not done. So this is where the role of a product owner, the concept of prioritization, the ordering of the backlog comes in. Agile says that focus on the must-haves. Focus on something that brings value to your customer. Don't focus or don't spend time into building something which is very exciting, which is very nice, awesome, but nobody's going to use it, right? Instead, focus on something that would be used by your customers, that your customers need. Alright, so this is how the product owner orders the backlog. He makes sure that the top items, they are the must-haves, they are the items which provides value to the business, so that it's a pull mechanism. You keep pulling work from the top of the backlog and never go to the piece of work that doesn't provide value to anyone. Principle number 11, the best architectural requirements and designs emerge from self-organizing teams. So this is again a principle that emphasizes the need of self-organization and knowledge workers. It says that do not force, do not prescribe the best practices or architectures or requirements or designs to your teams, because they are knowledge workers. They know it better, right? Just give them an environment and trust them. So all the good designs, all the good requirements, all the good empathy journey, they are emergent, right? They emerge from the concept of empiricism. You do something, you learn something, you do it better, and trust your two teams to do something, to do the same, right? They would learn, they would run experiment, they would learn from it, they would pivot, and they would do it better. Okay, so all the best practices, all the good architectures, and all the good stories, all the good requirements, designs, everything emerges or should emerge from a good self-organizing team. The last but not the least principle, at regular intervals, the teams must stop and adjust their behaviors and reflect on what and how they are doing. So this is the concept of retros. Holding retrospectives is an extremely critical part of being agile. You should stop, take a moment to reflect on what you are doing and how you are doing and how you can improve your processes. This is extremely critical. Having that ability to continuously learn from what and how you are doing is what makes you agile, essentially. Okay, so these were the 4 values and 12 principles of the Agile Manifesto, which you must embrace, which you must be a living embodiment of to achieve your agility goals. I hope I was able to explain the manifesto in a simple language to all of you. If I was, please like this video. If you want me to make more and more such informative videos, please subscribe to my channel. I would be motivated to do so. Thank you very much. See you the next time on another topic.